Now, before we get into domain 3.1 content, which is about architecture models, so what are the different architecture models for an organization, it's important to know what the cloud is. So this video is about the cloud. What is the cloud? It's a word that is used a lot today, but what is the cloud? So this is a network of remote servers that are used to store and process data and applications. And it's like a remote computer. It stores your files, your programs, does tasks without needing to be physically near you. That's why you can watch some videos on YouTube or open some content on your Google Drive without having the hard drive right next to you, like physically next to you. It's because it's stored in the cloud somewhere in a remote location. And when you're using the cloud, what you're doing is renting computing resources from a cloud provider. So you're renting the hard drive, you're renting the space, the processing power, the processing speed, all of those tools, you're renting them essentially because you're storing your data somewhere and you're paying a monthly fee to use them effectively. So this allows you to access the resources you need when you need them without having to buy your own hardware and software. As long as you have an internet connection, you can access those resources. When you store your data in a Google Drive or in your iCloud, you don't have to purchase a hard drive, a physical hard drive. You just store them on there, and with an internet connection, you can retrieve them easily. So why do we need the cloud? How did it come about? In the 90s, we used to have an on-prem approach. What is an on-prem? On-prem stands for on-premises. So on-premises means you had servers, you had hard drives, routers, everything was managed within a data center. So if you were asked to install a brand new server room for your organization, you will probably have to clear your calendar for weeks or more to address everything that was involved, from power to environmental controls to hardware acquisition, installation, configuration, building, installing software. So much headache. Now, they needed to maintain those data centers as well, like cooling systems. They ended up purchasing more devices than they needed, and they weren't used to their effective capabilities. So what happened then? The cloud came about, cloud computing. So the cloud model came and outsourced infrastructure and management to the cloud vendors. So anything that involves patching, cooling, equipment availability, data availability, you as a user or as a customer, you only care about developing your application, about accessing your application or accessing your data. You don't care about the heating or the cooling of the devices, of the servers. All you care about is accessing your data. That's why the cloud is so important, and it's a groundbreaking technology because you don't have to worry about installation, purchase of devices, resources. And so what are some of the use cases of the cloud? The most common one is storage. So you store your data within the cloud. Organizations or individuals use the cloud for storage. You store documents, images, videos, and you can retrieve them whenever you would like. You have compute. Compute is to run applications and process data. This is a cost-effective way to run applications. So rather than having them locally within your data center, you run them on the cloud. They have super processing power, and you can easily upgrade the power and the storage as needed. Identity and access management. So you can centrally manage user authentication, access, verify their access, grant them more or less permissions depending on their level. You can use the cloud to test applications before they're deployed, such that when you deploy them, you know that they're safe from bugs or any kind of unexpected issues. The cloud can also be used for backup and disaster recovery. So this is a kind of service that helps minimize the impact of a disaster. If there is a damage, if there is a problem, you can use your cloud data and services to keep the business running while you're trying to get things back up to speed. So you can use the cloud as a backup and disaster recovery. While you recover from a disaster, you use the cloud service. So this is an overview of the cloud, what it is, why it's needed, and how it can be used.
All right, right, guys, that concludes our course for today. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed it. And make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms, which includes YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Of course, do not forget to order our awesome Amazon flashcards that you can get for just $15, and they're awesome because they help you study.